Carmel Cipollone.
Chair, I want to move to clause 50R, 50S and 50S, which is the legal effect section of Part 2 of this legislation and this bill, and I'm a little bit confused, and so I'm going to seek clarification from the Minister. In 50R, the legal effect of things done by Minister is discussed. So the corporation or subsidiary is responsible and liable for anything done or not done under section 50E, 50F or 50G, as if the corporation or subsidiary had acted or not acted under those sections with the same powers as the Minister. So that tells me that the corporation or subsidiary is going to be responsible and liable for any decision that the Minister has made. If we refer back to 50E, 50F and 50G, basically that's around entering into transfer contracts, entering into transitional services, and also other things as corporation or subsidiary relating to and to implement social housing transactions. But then at 50S, it says protection from liability for board members and individuals, etc. So it says no relevant board or member nor any office holder or employee of the corporation or subsidiary is liable to any person for a decision of the Minister under this part or the exercise by the Minister of a power under section 50E, 50F or 50G. So on one hand, it looks like the corporation or subsidiary is going to be responsible and held liable for anything that goes wrong in the transaction. And then on the other hand, in the next clause, it looks like no one will be liable for anything that goes wrong in this process. So I mean, I think it's very fair for us as members of Parliament, Mr. Chair, and also for the general public to say, who do we point the finger at if something does go wrong? And my instinct, or what seems fair, is actually that it would be the two ministers that have all these powers that are being endowed on them that would actually be held responsible if anything goes wrong in the decision making or in the transaction. But then here it looks like no, it's actually going to be the corporation or subsidiary that will be, and so you assume, well I would assume, that that would mean the board members, any office holders or anyone employed by Housing New Zealand, Mr. Chair. But then that 50S seems to contradict what's happening in 50R. So I am seeking from the Minister just some clarity around that so that we as members of Parliament know who is going to be held liable if anything does go wrong in the transaction. And I think the general members of Parliament deserve to know what is going to happen here as well, Mr. Chair. So I seek that clarity and clarification from the Minister.